Hey, what's up, guys? Tukey here, back again with another episode of my San Jose Sharks franchise mode series right here on NHL 20. And today, we finished going through this offseason. Now, I wanted to give you guys a chance to give your feedback based off of what happened at the draft, because that was the turning point of this series, ultimately, where we decided to move on from quite a few notable players at the start of this. It was a very busy draft for us overall. Again, to recap, we flipped Craig Anderson's rights. We did get rid of Marc-Edouard Vlasic, which, if we were to play this in a having to stay loyal to no movements and no trade standpoint, he would be on this team until he retired. We flipped Ryan Murray's rights, that was weird for me to say for some reason, for Jourdan Binnington's rights. So he is likely to be our goaltender. That was the catalyst to flip Martin Jones to Chicago. We flipped Dadonoff's rights. We moved Kevin Labanc, which, that's the one move that I don't know if I like. Still to this, I didn't feel good about it now or then. I don't really feel good about it now, but I kind of feel like it was the right move, because I don't know if I want to fire our coach. So I don't know. I really like Kevin Labanc as a player in real life. So, I mean, I don't know. Maybe that's why I don't like that it happened. And then, of course, we flipped Zach Smith. There were some other picks as well that were moved. We flipped Alexiev after drafting a really good goaltender. We picked up Cole Perfetti. It was a very, very busy episode. And that leads us to right here and right now, the re-sign phase, free agency. What's Joe Thornton going to look like as a staff member? And is he going to be worth signing? Probably. At least I hope he is. We'll probably sign him anyway, even if he's not that good. But it was a very busy episode. For the most part, you guys seem to be cool with the moves, which is certainly a bit of weight off of my shoulders, because, again, like I said in that last episode, I never quite know. When you take such a drastic departure with the team and you go in such a different direction, not necessarily out of nowhere, but, like we did, never really know how people are going to react. So let's see if I can manage to disappoint you somehow, some way with this episode. So we start off here in the re-sign phase, of course, taking a look at goaltenders. I think Callum Booth and Linus Soderstrom we're just going to drop. We'll see who else is out there. Qualifying them, we're not going to get much back. So, yeah, it's going to piss off some people, but that is what it is. I love Henrik Gustafsson, the Gustafsson. I hope that I don't have to sign him. I might. I got to be honest. It's one of the weird ones where, AHL time might do wonders for him, which makes me wonder, I mean, if we're going to sign, I'll probably hold off, because we do have Imon as well. French name, so I'm doing my best. But we want him to play. If I want auto-rotate goalies on, Gustafsson would be the backup by default. Getting him play time would work out, though. I think I'm going to drop Coronar, too, for the moment, because I want to see all of our options that are out there. We are going to re-sign Jourdan Binnington, because why would we not? I don't necessarily plan on giving him a 3-year deal. Again, season 1 with the Blues, he was great. Last year, not so much, which is probably why they were willing to give up his rights. So I think what we're going to do is try to work out a 1-year show-me deal. He doesn't want to re-sign either, which really complicates things. But let's go 1 year at 4.5, see if he's willing to take that. I mean, we do have $31 million in cap space, so thankfully it's not too big of an issue. But we do have some holes to fill. Defensively, we have Carlson, Burns, and Merkley. Burns is now 36 years old, so defensively there is work to be done. Although, of course, we did pick up Bouchard, Rasmus Sandin, and others. Jeremy Waugh, we are going to look to bring back. He wants a cheap two-way deal. Hayden Fleury, we will also look to bring back. I should have just gone the other way, but that's fine. Nick DeSimone, we are going to drop. He's not a bad AHL option, but I want to make sure any prospects that need playing time get it. Gavrikov is going to be dropped. Radim Simic is going to be dropped, as is Austin Strand, Guillaume Brisebois. We're going to take a look at all of the options that are out there in the free agent market to bolster this team up. Connor Hobbs is also going to be dropped, but we will keep Hunter Drew for the moment. We'll drop it to a 1-year deal. So we do have Houston, another guy who could immediately be signed and sent to the AHL, where he'd get some decent development time. This guy here, Santeri Hataka, I guess he's Finnish, though, so I don't know if it'd be Hataka, but we're going to drop him, too, for the hell of it. I want to see what options are out there. So right now, not too many players signed. We'll have to do a lot of work in free agency. Dillon Gambrell is going to stay. He's going to be given a decent opportunity this year. We're going to go with a one-year deal and drop the price down. Let's go one by one. See what happens there. Blichfeld. Blichfeld? I think it could be Blichfeld. We're going with Blichfeld, though. We'll sign him up for another year. Left wings. Marcus Sorensen's an interesting one, where I don't necessarily hate having him on this team. He wants to re-sign. So I'm wondering if I just drop that down to even like 1.8, if he'll sign that. John Leonard, I'll probably hold off on signing, but he could be a decent AHL option. Alex True, we'll bring you back. He didn't have a great year last year on the fourth line, but we'll still sign him. I like your Tyken. He did very well for us, but obviously we need to look at some other slightly more reliable options that we could bring onto the team. Patrick Marleau is staying. Like it or not, Patrick Marleau is staying. We'll go with 3.6, a slight discount because he wants to stay. But we tried to win with Thornton and Marleau. Thornton retired. We're keeping Marleau, damn it. Jonathan Dillon, we will also keep for the moment. Barclay Goodrow's an interesting one, but I mean, he's done everything we could ask of a fourth liner over the past 2 seasons. I see no reason to not keep him. He wants to re-sign as well. See if we can drop that down to 1.5. Ellison, of course, potential signing, although he is junior eligible, so we'll probably hold off unless we play him in the NHL this year, which could happen. Vorobiev and Kevin Stenlund. I'm going to drop both of them for now. A chance they could come back. Yeah, that's an option. It's certainly on the table. But again, I want to see what's out there free agent-wise. Noah Gregor is certainly coming back. No way we're letting him go right now. We are going to let this dude go as well. Jaden, we love you, but you're out of here for now. And then there's the Mikas, who might eventually be signed. I don't know. Medium 9 isn't too bad. So obviously the team is in such an interesting spot right now because of all the changes, as Hayden Fleury is back. Binnington rejected. He wants more money. Barclay's back. Sorensen, Gambrell, Waugh, Alex True. Marleau rejects. Hunter Drew is back. Blichfeld, Gregor, and Dillon. Okay, so Binnington and Marleau are the only two to reject, which doesn't really surprise me. So Patty, let's just go for your asking price of 3.8. Hopefully that's enough. And then goalie-wise, I mean, again, I'm not giving Binnington term right now. So if I got to go 1 year at $5 million, so be it. But I am not signing him for more than a year. But if he has a really good year with us, obviously, we'll pay the man. Oh my God. Okay, wow, Marleau rejected still too. Okay. Marleau doesn't view us as a win-now team. That hurts, Patrick. That hurts. That really hurts, buddy. All right, let's go 1 year, 4.5 from Marleau. I'm keeping him. You can't, I mean, unless he just keeps rejecting. With Binnington, the good thing is we didn't give up too much to get his rights. But goddamn, 1 year at 5.5 is expensive. The issue is, we don't know what else is going to be out there in terms of options, so we got to make it work. My God, you selfish man. Marleau accepts, but Jourdan Binnington might legitimately hit the free agent market. This is ridiculous. 1 year of 5.5 isn't enough, huh? For goalies, Freddie Anderson, Tuukka Rask, Pekka Rinne, Jake Allen, Markstrom, Lundqvist, Riddick. I guess there are some options out there, potentially. We don't know for sure that all of these guys are going to hit the open market. We have $24 million to work with. That's a tough call. I mean, as far as what we gave up for Binnington, I don't know if it's going to show the full trade. Never mind. Okay, we're less than a week out from the draft, but already it just disappears and you can't see what happened anymore. That needs to be changed in the future. FIFA, you can see the whole year's worth of stuff, so that'd be pretty cool if that could still happen. That's one of the things in FIFA career mode that still works. But Binnington. Let's go with one more offer, buddy. This is it. If you reject this, it's not going to happen. You'll get $6 million for 1 year, which I don't even like. I'm honestly already regretting sending that offer out. Yeah, well, there you go. You got your money. Congratulations. I instantly regret that the second I did that. I'm sorry. We do lose some coaches and scouts, which is fine. I mean, we can just throw money at whoever the hell we need to. The big question here is how much am I going to regret throwing that amount of money to Jourdan Binnington, who's available on the free agent list? I mean, yeah, I kind of regret it. Because we could have gone with Freddie Anderson. We still could, but Anderson, Rinne, Markstrom, Riddick, Kemper, Hutton, a lot of 83s, Henrik Lundqvist. I regret that. I regret that a lot. I do. But I'm sticking with it. I could so easily just restart this episode and you'd never know. I'm going to stick with it. It's fine. We might still sign one of these other two, or another goalie for a tandem. Time will tell. Freddie Anderson would be a very interesting pickup. Now, we did see Thatcher Demko there, or at least I did, but it's not looking too good. Nor is it looking that good for Alex Nedeljkovic at this point. And Shesterkin, still there as well, but obviously he's 25 as well. For goaltenders, you do have Connor Ingram, high fringe 77 at 24 years old. Similar to what we signed last year to see who would develop. We could go for someone like him again. There is this 19-year-old Weller, but I don't think he's ever really going to develop. You have Makaniemi, who's not looking that good. Evan Fitzpatrick is available. Jesper Eliasson's an interesting one. Very interesting one as a UFA. Just looking at the ages here. So I think, we do have him on, but we go with Eliasson and Ingram. Ingram is listed as a backup, funny enough. The only thing I'm thinking is, do we want to sign our goaltender that we just got in the draft? If we do, doesn't make too much sense to sign Ingram or Eliasson. And I do wonder how much better Ingram's going to get. We'll come back to goaltending in general. At least we know there are options. Defensively, the big fish is Alex Pietrangelo, which, I don't think we're going to meet his asking price. But Petrie's there, Bufflin, Sami Vatanen, Ryan Murray, of course, also still available. Let's take a quick look at the team again, though. Because after not exactly spending the money in the wisest way with Binnington, I do need to be a little bit careful. So when it comes to defense, heading into this season, there's a decent shot that Waugh and Fleury are going to improve enough. Bouchard and Sandin could both be
6 hours later.
Alright, hopefully that jump cut wasn't too jarring. The joys of recording during the day, at least one of the joys, is that the dog likes to look out the window and sees squirrels to bark at. So that's always fun. I don't remember what I was saying, aside from the fact I know that I was looking at the defensive situation. Oh, yeah, that's right. That a couple of these guys have a chance to jump up, but I still think at least one major signing to round out the top four is probably a pretty good idea. And then we leave everyone from Waugh to Ferraro to just slug it out to try and make this roster on the third pair. So let's go back to defense here. As much as I'd love to get Alex Pietrangelo, I don't think that's going to happen with his $11 million asking price. So let's see who else we have. I know Petrie was there. Petrie, Dustin Bufflin, Vatanen, Niskanen. And in terms of prospects, anybody good? Pelech is 26, so he doesn't really count. And we have No major prospects. I do love Christian Wolanin, randomly. Again, he's one of those players that I just like for no particular reason, but he is there. And there are some other options as well that we could help fill out the roster with. Carlson is a 23-year-old. Not exactly ideal. So yeah, there are like no prospects there. Duly noted. So in terms of the defense, Petrie's an interesting one, but the fact that he wants as many years as he does is pretty ridiculous. He fits perfectly with this coach. Interesting. And I say interesting because our head coach might not be our head coach in a moment. Dustin Byfuglien doesn't fit in very well with this coach right now. Sami Vatanen fits in well in the top 4. Niskanen's a third pairing guy. Alright, so we're looking at bringing back Brendan Dillon, who still wants over $4 million a year, by the way. Or we're looking at a Petrie, or I think it was a Vatanen or a Niskanen, right? Chris Tanev also fits. Alright, for a defensive D-man, have him be the stay-at-home guy while Merkley is an offensive defenseman. That's not terrible. Jamie Alexiak, Ian Cole, Jake McCabe. Okay. Before we do anything else, at least now we know goaltending and defensive options. The big question, Joe Thornton, what kind of coach are you? What kind of coach are you, and how good of a coach are you? Are you an NHL head coach? You are not. Doesn't mean we couldn't hire him, though, as an NHL head coach. Are you an associate coach? You are. Forward specialist. Really good teaching. All right, he's not the best coach in the world, but it's not as if he's not worth signing. Having him as our head coach probably wouldn't go that well. But yeah, we could totally sign Joe Thornton. And quickly, just to look at this other coach that's right here. Actually, there are a couple of top options. 3 A's, huh? Buckley, Como, Dixon, and Valcourt. Although, methinks Dixon is probably the best one. Probably. Although that guy is the straight A's. The top 2 aren't bad. They're both forward specialists. Alex Valcourt and Darius Dixon. 57 going on 75. Good old Darius. I mean, compared to our current head coach, though, and this was the reason, of course, why we moved on from Kevin LeBanc, is that this coach is ridiculous. He's so good. He really is. So I don't really have plans on moving on. And let's see here. I mean, Hoyle could be dropped. I like Lehoux as the associate coach. You know what? We're gonna make some changes here. Doan is obviously going to stay, but we are going to completely rework the coaching staff around him. And then scout-wise, I have to hire 1,000 scouts anyway. So let's go ahead and take care of this. I have 10 scouting spots. Oh yeah, there are some good grades out there as well. Yeah, this offseason, the change is going to continue. We're having a fire sale of our staff right now. Don't mind me. Just adding to the nation's unemployment percentage single-handedly. Everybody must go. Every single one of you, get off of my team. Except for you, not Scott Hartnell. It's Sean Hartnell, his brother. That's not true. Unless he actually somehow has a brother named Sean, in which case I just scared myself because what are the odds? I mean, I guess the parents do like, Scott. So who's to say? Not like, oh yeah, the parents like their kid. The name, you goofs. The name. So who's to say? You have a Scott, you have a Sean, you have a Shawnette if it's a daughter, because you're not creative. And it's like, well, I wanted to name my son Sean, but it's a daughter, so it's Shawnette. No offense if your name is Shawnette, but your parents probably wanted a son. This is a weird one today. Oh boy, what is this video, this channel, my life? Your life, because you're spending this time with me. That's right. Now you're questioning yourself, aren't you? Maybe thinking about paying a little bit more attention in school. Maybe being a little bit more proactive with your efforts at work to get that promotion, make more money so you can do other things than have to listen to this psychopath rant and rave to himself while his dog barks at squirrels and he has to make jump cuts while playing NHL 20 franchise mode. You having a good day? I know I am. Oh, cool. We're going to sign Jonathan Ericsson. Hopefully he's a better scout than he is player. No offense, Jonathan. You're a fine player. Just drastically overpaid. So, staff-wise, associate coach, very obvious. We are bringing in Joe Thornton, and we are going to send him all of the money. At least, I mean, again, the budget doesn't matter because owner mode's not on, so we can just throw as much money to people as we want. He should accept that. I didn't mean to hit that button. Hit the wrong trigger. It's taking forever to load. I'm very upset. Let's go... Actually, let's stay with associate coach really quickly. I guess teaching isn't the most important thing at the NHL level. So we have a B and then C's. Ugh. So we are looking at McLean and up. And in terms of these grades, LaHoo, who we had, is pretty good. This person's better. And if we compare this person, Genoa's better with veterans, we're going with this person. Alex Denis, we're going to try to bring him on as an assistant coach. I know he's an associate, but we can still sign him as an assistant, unless he just refuses to take that role. But that's okay, because we're just going to dump $1 million, maybe even $2 million, right onto his doorstep. And it's going to be a little bit under $2 million. Hopefully he accepts that, though. And then teaching-wise, we need a top goalie coach, and that is exactly who Philip Little is. Perfect. Perfect for the role. Really good grades, too, aside from just teaching, which can be difficult to find for goalie coaches, so that'd be sweet. AHL head coach. Now, we do want a good teaching grade here, and by far it is you, Laurent Parento. Brother of PA. Maybe. Who knows? I'll give you $1 million a year. Our associate coach. Yikes. Our assistant coach. Again, really good teaching grades for goalies, but not much else. Let's bring on Andreas Koch. Andreas Koch. Andreas, I mean, there's a couple of different ways to pronounce that, I'm sure. Let's go back to associate coach. So let's go with you, at the very least, Mr. Wengranowski, if that is your real name. Sign you on as an assistant coach. Hopefully that extra money pays off. And our normal associate coach will be terrible. Let's go for you because, no, you're a goalie specialist. Oh, God. You have what I need, Norbert. You do. Your name's Norbert, and every team needs a good Norbert. That's just how it works. There we go. That should be the staff taken care of. Joe Thornton will not be the head coach because that'd be sabotaging this team, but we're still bringing him on as a staff member. So now that we know the head coaching role isn't changing at all, that can set us up with this defensive situation where, again, throwing some money Geoff Petrie's way isn't the worst idea. Either to Geoff Petrie or Sami Vatanen. And I think I'd prefer to go for Petrie. Although, year one in Montreal was rough. Last year he did all right. How has Vatanen been doing in New Jersey? So, Geoff Petrie. Geoff Petrie. Buddy, pal of mine, I'm not signing you to a 4-year deal. Oh, God. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get him. Our defense could be interesting. You see how much money a lot of these guys are asking for, though. I mean, I know that's top 4 money, but like Brendan Dillon, 4 years of 4.3. I mean, you did pretty well for us last year, or 2 years ago now. He was all right in Anaheim, actually, but God, he fits in so well with this team. Maybe we just wait. Maybe we do. Tanev's not too bad. We know he fits in well with the team. Maybe we just wait. It really does depend now, I guess, on the forwards and what we want to do. Okay, Braden Point's available. I'm just gonna search UFAs because I don't want to give up any draft picks. Andreas Athanasiou has made it up to an 88. He's higher rated than Landeskog. That is insanity. That is simply outrageous. I don't think we'll be able to pay him, but there is the possibility. So goalie-wise, again, I think I'm going to sign Gustafsson. So I think we need an NHL goalie and we need an AHL depth option behind Iman and Gustafsson, who will probably be the 1-2 punch. Probably. I mean, again, there is that argument of, will this guy do better at the AHL level in terms of development, or will he do better by leaving him unsigned? I think we're going to sign him. Normally I'd leave him unsigned, so we'll see what happens there. Again, defensively, I mean, let me just see here. So we have 3, 4, 5, 6. I can math, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Cool. So we need like 3D signed anyway. A Dudley Boy special, and then forward-wise, I mean, our top 6. Ugh. A little bit of insurance with another top 6 option wouldn't hurt. It wouldn't. We have 3, 6, 9, Mafia. So we have 9, 10, 11, and 12 with Gregor. And then the AHL is 1, 2, 3. Freddie might not even be there. 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, God. All right, we just got to sign players in general. That's what I was trying to figure out. We have our answer. We have to sign players. Quite a few of them. So, made that commitment. We're signing that goalie. When it comes to free agent goaltenders, I really want... How's Freddie Anderson been doing? Like, I know that's a big-time move. Not great for someone of Freddie Anderson's caliber. That is not ideal. How's Markstrom been doing? You know? Is there anybody who can say that they had a solid save percentage last year? Carter Hutton, Craig Anderson, Henrik Lundqvist was okay. Grubauer at a 9.14. Yikes. That is my response. Yikes. Let's go for Eliasson and Ingram. I think we're going to save a little bit of money here. I thought I was going to go for Freddie Anderson, but he was on Toronto. You can't say he was on a bad team, and thus his save percentage took a bit of a hit. I know goaltending has been the issue, but we are going to bank on Jourdan Binnington being able to get the job done. Is he capable of that? I don't know, but we're going to find out. Worst case scenario, we make a trade to make something happen. Defensively, I am scared to try and throw a lot of money Geoff Petrie's way. I don't think a 1 year, like $6.5, $7 million contract is going to be the best way to go. Vatanen hasn't been great either. Again, I want a guy who can play on all defensive pairings like Tanev, who is not a big point guy, which is fine. Did well on Anaheim last year. The year before in Vancouver, it was pretty rough. But we're looking at him, Alexiak, Ian Cole, Jake McCabe, Stetcher. Oh, God. I got to be honest. I'm not too excited about the options here, especially based off of who we already have that could get a chance from the AHL. I can't say I don't want to spend money for the sake of spending money based off of what I've already done in this episode. But, yeah, it's a little bit rough. It's a little bit rough. And then defensively, I know I have to bring in some people if I look at a two-way deal. So I'm going to bring back Nick DeSimone, just because I know that'll get a bit of a bump in terms of morale. We'll bring back Simic as well. Again, just cheap little morale boosts for the team. And we'll have to fill out the rest of this. We'll also bring back Strand. Might as well, when it's just random AHL signings. So we'll hold off from there. Forward-wise, in terms of splashing cash, this is where it would be done. And again, we'd be looking at UFAs to kind of minimize just how much we're spending. I don't think I want to pay. Oh my God, he was like, yeah, he was okay. $8 million for 68-point Andreas Athanasiou. I'm not biting on that. Landeskog wants 9. You have Josh Anderson looking for 6. 26 goals last year. 41 goals for Saad. Really? He had to have been playing McCain, right? 65 points, 41 goals in a full season. You have Gallagher looking for 6 mil. Zach Hyman is a bargain for someone of that overall. Go figure. 52 points last year, 22 goals. He's looking for under $4 million. I mean, that's a Kevin LeBanc replacement if I've ever seen one. I gotta be honest, right now, just in terms of bang for the buck and value, Zach Hyman isn't the worst option that I've seen here. Dadonov wants almost $6 million. Bjorkstrand isn't looking for much. He only played 28 games last year. So Bjorkstrand would be an interesting one where it's like, okay, just a trial deal. Let's see how you do. Dzingel's looking for almost 5. I think Zach Hyman and Bjorkstrand are the more interesting ones. Derek Ryan isn't looking for that much. 38 points last year, looking for 2.2. Kovalchuk's looking for nothing, which makes sense. Anisimov, Mikko Koivu, Thomas Tatar is looking to get paid. Patrick Maroon and Armia. I gotta be honest, I'm leaning towards signing Zach Hyman, not to a 5-year deal, but damn it, that's the only reason why it's so cheap. It's because he wants term. Although having Zach Hyman as a solid option for the bottom 6 over the next few years, I know he's a second liner right now. He would eventually probably go down to being a third liner. That's not the worst idea in the world, especially when you look at how much money a lot of these other guys want. So say we go 4x4 for Zach Hyman. Am I cool with that? He had 52 points last year. You know, I think we're going for it. We're going to go 4x4 for Zach Hyman. I'm going to give Bjorkstrand a, hey, let's see what you got. Never mind. Is he an RFA? It says UFA here, but RFA on the other screen. Okay. Are you an RFA or not? Also, will you accept 2.2 as let's see what you got kind of contract? And Derek Ryan. I know he's a playmaker, but having he and Barclay Goodrow killing penalties, not a bad bit of business. So those are the big 3 that I'm going to go after in terms of forwards. Defensively, I mean, there are some players, but I don't know if I want to try to pay Geoff Petrie that much money, you know? It's a tough one. In terms of prospects, by the way, because I don't think I looked at forwards, Lodine's terrible. Yeah, there's not much. So those are the 8 that we're going to go with to start off. Bjorkstrand, Ryan, Hyman, DeSimone, Strand, Simic, and we have Ingram and Eliasson in goal, which is a little bit shaky, but it could work. We also get a trade offer for Silverberg, which I am not taking that contract. No, thank you. Let's see what we got. So Talbot signs as a scout. We're going to get a lot of these prompts over the next couple of minutes here, which is fine. At least we know our scouting department is going to be taking a massive step up, which is very good to see. Oh my God, there's so many of these. There you go. I don't like the size of the market you play in. Really? Staying here for almost 15 years seems to show otherwise, Joe. But welcome back to the Sharks. Great to have you. Denis signs as well as an assistant. The goalie coach signed as well. Perfect. So far, so good on the coaching front. When Gronowski rejected, which is garbage, but that's okay. So let's go over to coaching staff. And actually, let's wait for the other. I don't remember if it was an associate or an assistant, so let's just wait another day here. Or 7. Because we'll still have all of these scouts accepting these deals as well. What about that other staff member? And what about the free agents that we've sent offers to? They are who I'm a bit more concerned about. Helmer signed as an associate, so we need an assistant coach. And we should be getting our answers back from the first round of free agents here in a second. So we need an AHL assistant coach. I'm going to go to associate, though. Just because the teaching... Well, I mean, if we can find someone who's way up here that isn't a goalie, there's a chance. Nah. So yeah, we'll go back to associate. So when Gronowski didn't work, so we'll try to sign old Simon here as an assistant coach. Again, see, we're $3 million in the hole on budget. Does not matter. Simon Chevrier. Let's see if you'll sign with us, hopefully. Not the best coach in the world, but it'll do. Let's see what happens here. As Olin signed, Austin Strand is re-signed, at least. Bjorkstrand signed. That slightly cheaper offer, which is very nice. He could be a nice cheap pickup. Derek Ryan went to the Islanders. That's fine. I mean, I tried to get him on an even cheaper deal. But Bjorkstrand signed. Simic is back. Connor Ingram's here. Strand is back. DeSimone's back. Eliasson has also signed. So we didn't get Derek Ryan, which is fine. He would have been a bottom 6 penalty killing specialist. And I don't think we have any other offers out. No, we do. Zach Hyman. Okay. That's going to be interesting to see if he accepts. We'll base a lot of our business on whether or not he does. And he did. Zach Hyman, welcome to San Jose. I'll take it. So, not bad. We got everybody except for Derek Ryan. I probably lowballed him a little bit too much. But I don't hate that. I don't hate what we've done thus far. We still have $14 million in cap space. Goaltending-wise, it is looking a little bit shaky. Maybe I don't sign Gustafsson. Maybe I don't. And I bring in a better backup. I think I might do that. And then we have Ingram. Iman might be in the CHL for one more year, even though he's 21, and then we have Eliasson. I think we're going to look at bringing in another goalie. Defensively, like I said, you have Waugh, Fleury, Heed, Bouchard, a lot of guys who are going to be fighting for spots. But if Geoff Petrie's there, that's not the worst idea. And then forward-wise, I mean, the top 6 is looking pretty good. I mean, you still have Marleau, Sorensen, Gambrell. That's the top 9. And then Goodrow, Dillon, Blichfeld, True, Leonard could be signed. Really, the only thing we'd be looking at here is just bringing in even more competition for the guys that we already have, which isn't a bad thing. So, $14 million to work with. Goalie-wise, Freddie Anderson's still available, and there are no teams that are interested. Someone has an offer out to Pekka Rinne, Markstrom and Kemper as well, and Henrik Lundqvist, there's a lot of goalies who I'd hate to see just kind of rot away. My God, Jaro Halak is looking for nothing. How good was he last year? He wasn't. Wow, EA has not been kind to Jaroslav Halak. That's unfortunate. That is very unfortunate. I know Anderson's there. He's only 31. He'd probably do pretty well for us. And we could probably lower the offer a little bit to save a bit of money. Again, he had a 906 last year. Markstrom barely played in Colorado. He was okay when he did play, but he only had 16 appearances. Darcy Kemper had a 902, which is scary. Lundqvist had that 908. Craig Anderson, who didn't play much for us once we acquired him, was okay. Jimmy Howard was actually all right. Ryan Miller was awful. And then again, there's someone like Grubauer. But we do have the money. Shesterkin's there, but I just don't know if his overall is going to go up. You know, Freddie, buddy, pal of mine, a 1-year, $6.5 million contract, a prove-it deal just like Binnington got, to try and prove to me that you're the guy that we need. It's pretty much what we'd be looking at. Now, a lot of the top defensemen are gone. We'd be looking at Ian Cole. Good veteran presence, I guess, but I'm not sure. Jake McCabe. I think I'd rather just go with the guys on the team that we already have because there is some potential there. So defensively, there's not too much we're going to do right now. And then forward-wise, Point's still there, Bertuzzi's there, but they're RFAs. For UFAs, Zajac, Palmieri, Dzingel have offers out. Archibald's looking to get paid all the goddamn money. So is Thomas Tatar. But I think in terms of the top 9 we're set, it would just be bottom 6 help. So we'd be looking at somebody like a Sherry who fits in on the penalty kill, but not really on the 4th line. Armia, we don't know. Derek Stepan. Derek Stepan could work. I mean, maybe not the best guy to have as a bottom 6 option, but certainly not the worst. I wouldn't hate that. Gusev fits in. Iafallo fits in on the penalty kill. Darren Helm. Tyler Ennis doesn't really fit in with this coach right now, at least that we know of. You know, sending an offer to Derek Stepan when the next guy up is Sutter doesn't look like the worst idea. If Derek Stepan will accept a very cheap 1-year option at $175, that would be a steal and a half. So we'll see if that works too, as we're certainly taking the approach of trying to bring in guys, on these 1-year prove-it deals, trying not to get locked into term, as Bobby Ryan's been dealt to Colorado for a first and second. Okay, then. Let's see if Derek Stepan accepts that deal, please. He did not. He wants more money. He doesn't like the direction that this team's going in. Oh, you mean a team that's listed as a contender? Right. Well, you've been on the Rangers and the Coyotes, so what do you know about contending? Da-da-da-da-da-da. I know the Rangers made a cup final in the past 5 years. Calm down. I was rooting for you, too. But the Alex Martinez goal, sorry to bring that up. That was a cool moment, at least. A cup winner in overtime on home ice. I'm sorry, Rangers fans. I'm sorry. I'll stop now. I'll stop. So, with that... God, this is going to be a longer episode than I thought, but hey, what are you going to do? We still need to wait to see what's going to happen with Freddie Anderson. And then we'll take it from there. As far as the defense and the forwards, we'll probably sign some extra peeps. Freddie Anderson accepted. So we have Anderson and Binnington as the 1-2 punch and goal, both of whom are on 1-year deals. It is $12.5 million between the two of them. But one of them, if not both of them, has to prove that they can be a top goalie, and then we figure it out from there. I don't hate it. So I'm likely to still sign a goalie. I don't think it'll be Gustafsson, though, after signing Ingram. Iman's going to be in the minors, so we're going to need another goalie below a 71. The defense, again, is looking rough. I am aware. That's 6. Now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 with Strand, and then Drew and Gznyov. All right, so we need one more defenseman. So we need a goalie below a 71. We need one more defenseman. And forward-wise, for proper depth, again, we have our top 9 there, 11, 12, and 13, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, and we need a good 5 forwards. The good thing is we don't need much in terms of NHL options. We do, but having like Goodrow, Dillon, Blitchfeld, giving some of these guys a chance to make it on the 4th line, I don't hate it. Again, it would have been great to end up with Derek Ryan and Derek Stepan, for that matter. We're listed as champions now, by the way, too, Mr. Stepan, if that is your real name. Unbelievable. Let's see. So. I don't really care for it to be a prospect because I don't want to sign an ELC. Let's get a goalie who is kind of bad, like Hannu Toivonen, Bruins legend, Justin Pogge, Bruins legend, Maine Mariners legend, Rinas Makaniemi, Casimir Kaskisuo, Joseph Raymakers, Svedberg. I was hoping for like a meme. I'm not really seeing a meme, so that kind of sucks. You always gotta hope for a meme. It didn't really happen though. Suppose I could bring it. You know what? In fairness, we can just healthy scratch somebody. So Coronar's there. We'll bring him back. We'll get some good morale for bringing him back. Works for me. Defenseman. God, who's left? Goligoski, Niskanen, McCabe. I don't know if I want to rely on McCabe being a top 4. I'm going to hold off. So let's look for someone who's willing to sign a two-way deal. We had Gavrikov last year. Might get a bit of a morale boost for bringing him back over any of these other dudes. Middleton was on this team before. Let's bring back Trevor Carrick, just because he's the next face I recognize that was on this team last year. And then forward-wise, God, Kovalchuk, Stepan. All right, Derek. 1 year, 1.9. Be on my fourth line, please. Be on my fourth line. And there really wasn't anybody else. We'll give someone like True a shot over anybody else. So let's go two-way deals, which actually brings up some really good talented players. So the Barracuda are going to be pretty stacked. Jordan Wheel. We will sign you, Dominic Simone. I cannot believe you're only wanting a two-way deal. Matt Nieto, we can look to bring back. We might get somewhat of a positive boost for that. Arturi Lehkonen. This AHL roster is going to have some disgusting options. Rowney, Reeder, Schaller, Brett Ritchie, who scored in his first game as a Bruin. You got to love it. Gardner, Sakura. Let's go for Dillon Sakura. You might be able to score some goals at the AHL level. So that is that. Little bit worried about the defense, of course, but that's okay. We'll make it work. We'll send the next season. So Coronar is back. We did get a morale boost. Leave me alone with offers, please. Leave me alone, I say. Dylan Sakura has signed. Matt Nieto, Jordan Wheel, Arturi Lehkonen, Derek Stepan. Dominic Simone went to Chicago, which is fine. I actually don't even think we needed that many players. Anyway, I need to edit the trade block. Leave me alone. Leave me alone. I don't want to make trades. If I do, I'll technically come to you with the offers. I don't think using Trade Finder means I'll technically come to you to work out the deals. It kind of does, though. P.O. Joseph and Morrow to Detroit for Val Filppula. Jesus. Steve Yzerman's a wizard. Getting P.O. Joseph. Oscar Clefbaum to Carolina for a first-round pick at Stelio Mateos. I like Edmonton's return there. I like Clefbaum a lot, but that is a pretty good trade. And we'll see if there are any other trades before we get to the beginning of the preseason. Of course, setting up the scouts and all that. We'll do that later. This has been a long enough episode as it is. I didn't think it would be this long of an episode, but here we are. We'll get a look, though, at what this team is going to be. Of course, we will have the option to sign some people, like John Leonard is a possible signing that we could make in terms of people that we already have on roster. But it's our first year without Joe Thornton. Unsigned. Leonard is good to go. Ellison, I think we could hold off on signing. Houston could probably do with AHL time. I'll leave that up to you guys. Do we leave Leonard and Houston unsigned for for this season? At least, the last season for Leonard before he'd have to be signed. Or do you think we should test it out and see how much better they would improve if they get AHL time, like they potentially could, based off of their overalls? They are definitely AHL caliber players. So looking at the team, again, it's Anderson and Binnington. Not what I expected. Ingram is a good enough backup for sure, and Zach Emond is in the AHL. So it'll probably be Ingram and Eliason as the 1-2 punch in goal for the AHL side of things. Defensively, Burns is at an 89. Merkley didn't go up any. Waz an 80. Then you have the likes of Heed and Fleury. We could very well give Bouchard and Rasmus Sandin the opportunity to make this team. It's pretty straightforward. I do want to look, though. We'd have to see how well they would fit in with the club. But overall, I don't hate it. And then again, AHL-wise, I mean, Tim Heed would probably be the healthy scratch. Forward-wise, we have our 10, 11, and 12 with Wheel, Dillon, Lehkonen. Could certainly go with quite a few options here, actually, in terms of guys that are NHL caliber. So let's say, depending on what type of fourth line we wanted, certainly a more defensively responsible line. I mean, drop those three, call up Barclay Goodrow, and then again we have our 10 with Stepan, 11 and 12. Probably send down Wheel and Blichfeld and go with even like Alex True. There is a lot of potential here as far as what this roster could look like at both the NHL and the AHL level. We should be competitive across the board. But looking at this team, I mean, True and Goodrow, it's not bad. It's not bad. Bjorkstrand fits in beautifully on the top line. And I mean, overall, I mean, there, you know, the top nine, a little bit of maneuvering around, it's not terrible. It's not. And then defensively, obviously that's going to require a little bit of work. Just a little bit. But if we take a look, so Sandin fits in pretty well there. Bouchard doesn't fit in too well on that line. There's some maneuvering around, and honestly, I'll probably take a look at how every player who could be on the NHL team fits in as far as their scheme fit. But yeah, this is a drastically different, but perhaps more interesting team at this point, as we have a lot of guys where it's like, okay, just how good are you going to do for us? Like I said, a lot of different options, both the NHL and AHL level. Some players that we could sign as well if we wanted to. And quite a bit of low-end NHL talent that will certainly help boost up some of the, current guys that we have in the AHL. Thankfully, though, nobody that we really care about is a healthy scratch, which is cool. So a lot of options, a lot of possibilities, a lot of depth forwards. We will see what this team ultimately looks like, what these line combos ultimately look like heading into the next season. The NHL squad, though, I'd say highlighted as far as new additions by Bjorkstrand, a one-year deal, a prove-it deal. We bring in Zach Hyman, who is probably ultimately just a slightly cheaper version than Kevin Labanc, but you got to figure we used Labanc to bring in a first-round pick and a guy who could be on our defense this year, so not a bad return, I would say. And the fourth line, we have options. I mean, shit, Derek Stepan being a fourth-line penalty killer for us, we could do worse. We could do worse. So we'll leave it there. This episode's gone on way too long as it is. Again, based on your comments and everything in terms of who's going to be here, we'll have this team set up and are ready to go for the next episode where Season 3 begins. We'll do well in the regular season and then blow it in the playoffs because that's the San Jose way.